name is Jennifer Brand. I am a clinical nutritionist, certified nutrition specialist, licensed dietitian nutritionist, childhood skin rash expert, and eczema specialist. Today, I want to focus on a very timely subject, which is solutions for summertime rash flares. So when the weather warms up, your child's skin often gets worse when they are struggling with eczema. And unfortunately, this is not a coincidence. The sweat, heat, and sun can trigger rashes and flares like eczema and even cause hives. So let's dive a little bit deeper into each of these components of things that can happen during the summer with your child's skin. So first of all, sweat. Now, sweat is really important and we need to sweat. It actually helps cool down the body, cool down the skin naturally. Sweat contains properties that naturally moisturize the skin that are antimicrobial, and they can also help keep the skin microbiome in a healthy balance, which in turn does help protect the skin barrier and also helps prevent leaky skin and skin infections. So sweat can be really important for a lot of reasons. But sweat also is a common irritant, especially in people that do have chronic skin rashes like eczema. So interestingly, people with eczema actually have a different composition of sweat than those without eczema, and they may actually have lower levels of certain substances in their sweat, which means that it could contain less of these natural moisturizing factors and fewer antimicrobial properties. So what this in turn means is that there can be an increase in drier skin after sweating and a higher likelihood of skin infections, which can cause more itching. So on the flip side of that, the research also shows us that people with eczema may sweat less than those that don't have eczema. And when we have less sweating, the skin retains more heat, it can become more dry. This makes it more prone to itching and infection as well. So when it comes to heat, now hot temperatures can worsen skin symptoms because the heat can lead to the dilation of blood vessels, which happens to cool the body down, but this also triggers inflammation, which leads to itching. Skin inflammation, always remember this, is a driver of itch. So hot weather also, of course, leads to more sweating. Again, another common skin irritant, especially in people with eczema. Now, let's talk about the sun. So generally speaking, the sun is your friend if you have eczema because hello, vitamin D. We need sunlight on our skin to make vitamin D, which is really a powerhouse vitamin. And there are some significant correlations in the literature and in my clinical experience as well between low levels of vitamin D and a worsening of chronic skin rashes like eczema. For some, though, the sun isn't tolerated very well. It's hot, causes sweating, which can lead to more itching. In some people, the sun can even cause photosensitivity and hives. This is actually an immune system reaction that's triggered by sunlight. So, another issue with warm weather and seasonal changes, outdoor allergens. So, often these outdoor allergens can lead to more itching, more skin redness, and more discomfort as well. So there are some things that you can do about all of this. So number one, adjusting your kiddos' routines to account for seasonal changes can really help them stay more comfortable. So let's talk about skincare first. So when the temperatures rise, you can try using lighter lotions and oils. Often when we are struggling with chronic skin rashes, certainly with eczema, we become accustomed to using thicker ointments and creams for moisturizing, which are really important for helping seal that skin barrier, help the skin retain its natural moisture, prevent that moisture from getting out of the skin. So typically we do use these thicker ointments and creams. However, in the summer, they can be too heavy, especially considering the warmer temperatures. So what you can do is try to use lighter lotions and oils instead of those thick ointments and creams for moisturizing. Also, swimming. We all want our children to swim, enjoy summer, all of the activities that come along with it. And so if your child is triggered by water, first explore salt water versus chlorinated water for swimming. Even fresh water, for that example, in a lake for it would be another option. But some People do better in salt water. Some people do better in chlorinated water. Some people do better in freshwater swimming. Everybody is different. So, regardless of what type of body of water your child might be swimming in, this is an exception for using those thicker creams and ointments during the summertime, because what you can do is take that ointment or a cream, apply that to your child's body all over about an hour before swimming in any body of water. So what this does in the water is that the thicker cream or the ointments, it serves as a barrier, and that helps prevent irritation from the water, whether that's salt, chlorine, or what have you. And then after swimming, you always want to rinse off and moisturize with that lotion or oil again. Now, sunscreen. So, sunscreen is a good idea. I know we've talked about vitamin D, right? So, vitamin D really is important for overall health in general. It's good for a variety of different aspects of health. And really important when we are struggling with skin rashes. So, vitamin D is actually primarily made in the skin when sunlight hits our skin. So, we do need to get exposed to sunlight for vitamin D production in the body. However, when we are struggling with skin rashes and to protect already damaged skin, sunscreen really is a good idea, especially if your child is going to be outside long enough where their skin could potentially get burned, for example. So when it comes to sunscreen, there are so many products out in the market. Everybody is different. Look for something that is fragrance free, number one, to help prevent irritation or even an allergic reaction. And remember, too, that natural isn't always better. Actually, rarely it is, I find. Many natural products on the market contain potential irritants and allergens. So always keep in mind with a broken skin barrier, certain and that leaky skin, certainly when we are talking about something like eczema, we become more prone to having allergens, irritants enter the bloodstream through that broken skin barrier, which can actually lead to allergen sensitization and potentially the development of a clinical allergy. So, this is a reason why natural isn't always better. A lot of natural products on the market contain food based ingredients, herbs, and essential oils, for example, that can not only be irritating, but also can lead to allergen development through that broken skin barrier. So, also when it comes to sunscreen, products with zinc, non-nano zinc in particular, seem to work well for a lot of folks. Zinc is anti-inflammatory. It can also help with itch. Keep in mind, zinc can be drying, however, as well. So, if you are noticing that's occurring with your child, you can always, in addition to the cream or the sunscreen that has zinc, apply the oil or another lotion moisturizer as well to keep the skin better moisturized. Remember too that everyone is different, and a good place to look for options for sunscreen, the Environmental Working Group, they have a sunscreen guide. So you can check that out. It's ewg.org. Always check labels for appropriateness for your child. And another great option is always sun protective clothing. They have a lot of options available out there as well for that. Now, when it comes to activities, if possible, avoid playing outside during the hottest times of the day. That's usually between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. When your child does play outside or inside for that matter and gets hot and sweaty, shower and bathe afterwards. You want to get that sweat, that irritation off the skin. And then after bathing, after showering, apply a light moisturizer, lotion or oil again. Those lighter moisturizers in the warmer weather tend to be less irritating, allowing the skin to better breathe. But you always want to apply a moisturizer within 3 minutes of toweling off. That 3-minute post shower or bath rule is a rule of thumb. Also, indoors, air conditioning. Keep the air conditioning on, help keep your child cool. Do keep in mind that the air conditioning indoors can be drying. Again, make sure to keep your child moisturized. You can do that twice a day, AM and PM at a minimum. Another strategy to keep cool, drink cool water, put ice in the water. One of my favorite strategies is keeping like a cool compress. So a damp washcloth even, or a towel in the fridge. And then after your child's done with their activities, after they've heated up a bit, you can always take that cold compress, apply it to the forehead or the back of the neck to help keep their body cool. A great strategy to help with those super inflamed, itchy spots: ice packs. Keep ice packs in the freezer. When you need them, take it out, put it on the area that is most troublesome for your child. That can really help manage the itch as well. And then, of course, during summer, you always want to wear loose, breathable clothing. Cotton works well for a lot of folks. Linen is also a nice, natural option for fabric that breathes as well. So that said, I hope this information is helpful. There are some links in the description of this video, as well as a link to learn more about getting my help and guidance to support you on your child's journey to conquer their rashes. As always, questions, you can comment on this video, reach out and let me know. And check out the links in my profile bio as well. If you want to make sure that you don't miss these live events with the opportunity to get your questions answered in real time for your child, get on my newsletter. There's a link in my profile for that so that you'll get emails with the links to log in and join for these events. And if you can't make it live, you can always respond to my emails with questions, and I'll make sure to get those answered for you so that you can watch them later.